3-hour-long tutorial at the conference a couple weeks ago. It's mostly for developers, but I think for those of you who are interested, just kind of to understand what are the leading tools out there and where to get started. We thought it would be good to get in here for just a few minutes to give sort of a teaser of the session from the conference, and then point you to some material that you can follow with and learn more. So with that said, Patrick, take it away.
All right. Hello, everybody. Help if I can see people. Okay, great. Aha, there you are. Hi. Yeah, so thank you for having me, Ori, and good to be back virtually in New York. Boy, that's blurry. Anyway, so yeah, when I was at AWE, like Ori said, it was a 3-hour tutorial. My portion of it was an hour long, and you can actually catch the entire video and slides if you go to my my latest tweet. I tweeted out a link that has the slides and the video together. But I wanted to talk a little bit about what SDKs are out there and how you might get started. So in the session, I talked. There were actually 5 vendors in addition to myself that also gave tutorials, and you can find their videos on YouTube. And actually, Ori, I don't know if those are co-located anywhere where you could get like all 5 of them, maybe on the AWE site or something. But anyway, so I went through a little bit of what is an SDK, what's it for, and I'm not sure what slide is showing now. Is it the short list?
Bring it up. Yeah, here it is. It's up now.
Oh, okay, cool. So yes, so the crux of the talk was essentially, or at least the crux of these slides is that none of the AR SDKs that are out there, and I should mention that the talk. The talk specifically focused on mobile, developing for mobile, because that's what most people want to do these days, because we're kind of in this in-between period between our PCs and our eyewear, and the mobile phone seems to be filling in the gap. So the crux of this slide is that there isn't really a one-size-fits-all SDK for developing AR apps for mobile, and this is essentially a short list. It takes up 2 slides. It's I think it's the top 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, there's about 10 SDKs listed here, and I chose these because they have a fairly large developer base, and/or they have technology that's compelling that you might want to use. And so the chart sort of shows what the purpose of each SDK is, what it's good at, what platforms it supports, what sort of rendering engine it provides or integrates with. You'll notice if you look at that column, Unity 3D pops up quite a bit. It's a very nice environment, and then all the tutorial content for the presentation actually was in Unity. The nice thing about Unity is it allows you to well, for the most part, port your app between iOS and Android fairly easily. And then some other information about whether the SDK out of the box supports going to a cloud service and pulling back tracking information about recognized images, whether it supports GPS, and how much it costs. So some of the ones to point out, I guess, Qualcomm Vuforia up the top. That's the one that won this year in the category of SDKs at the Augies, mostly because it's just, for one thing, you can't beat the value. It's free, and also it has one of the nicest environments for developers. It's very easy to use, and it does a really nice job of tracking images, which is kind of the sweet spot right now for AR, natural image tracking. Some other notables, though, are Mateo and 13th Lab, which both have a SLAM implementation. If you want to be able to track in 3D, that's a nice capability to have. I think Obvious Engine is on the next slide. We use that for the Pepsi Max project, which I think you've seen. That's really nice if you want to track a cylindrical object. AR Toolkit's notable just because it's super fast and it recognizes from really good distance. It uses at least the fiducial marker, which is what and it's been around the longest, AR Toolkit, so it's just completely solid as far as tracking. I use that one for the American Museum of Natural History project, and you can stand back 15 feet from a marker and it'll still pick it out from the other markers. So I think, that's, and I guess one other notable is if you want to be able to track a rolling spherical robot, pretty much your only choice is orthotics. And you have to have the robot itself as well. So that's that. I guess I'll open it up to questions and
yeah, so Patrick, I mean, you've been trying to be really nice with all the vendors, and by the way, Martin from Lair is here, so
oh hey,
some good words.
I missed you,
Martin. Hey, you made it out. You made it to the U.S. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry we didn't get to see you at AWE. Martin was supposed to be in my session, but wasn't able to make it.
Yeah, so I guess the question is, okay, so I'm totally new to this. I'm not sure what I want to do, but it's probably going to be related to something with a 2D image that I want to augment.
Sure.
What should they pick up to get started?
Well, I mean, it depends a bit on your skill set. If you're a programmer, then I would say definitely you would want to look to something like Vuforia with Unity. If you're not a developer and you're okay with building, if you want a more WYSIWYG type experience, you would look at something like Layar Creator or Mateo's Creator. Or Wicked2 just came out with their new studio, which I actually haven't had a chance to use. So there's a number of non-developer options, and there's a few slides at the end of the presentation to talk to those.
Okay. So any questions to Patrick from the audience?
Yeah. Hey Patrick, if you wanted to develop something that was not for mobile, what's the leading thing right now for non-mobile development for like Mac or Windows?
Do you have questions?
No, I did not hear any of that.
What platform would you use or SDK would you use for non-mobile, such as Mac or Windows?
The options there are a little more limited. I know that AR Toolkit supports Mac, Linux, as well as Windows. Also, I believe Total Immersions, Diffusion, they also support Windows. I think Mac as well. And I believe Mateo also supports Mac and Windows. So that would be those would be the ones you want to look at.
Nice. All right. You got it. Thanks. Other questions? Okay. Do we have developers today? Okay. All right, Patrick. So I think they're all good with the information so far. So we'll thank you.
All right. Well, feel free to reach out to me if you have other questions. You can get my contact info and at my Twitter handle. Did you give them my Twitter handle so they can get the link to the slides?
Not yet, but let's show it. Is it on the website on top, or where is that?
It's in the first slide. It's just at Patched Reality.
There you go. Get the info right here. Capture it, or just go to the website catchreality.com or Augmented Reality or channel on YouTube, which has a bunch of these videos on. All right, thanks very much, Patrick.
Bye.